Alright guys, got another video for you. We are going to work on adding some upgrades to our chat box here, our chat system. So right now, if we hit play, we can come to a window where we can type. And it looks like we've even added a username here. That's good. So if I keep typing and pressing enter, you'll see that the chat will actually scroll down. It looks like I can put in blank lines. I don't want to have that. So let's make it where, first off, let's make it where we can't put in blank lines. Let's get rid of that part. And I think I've done this in class already, but I'm going to go ahead and go over it online now. Okay, so if we take a look right here, we have chat edit. That is the text that is inside of this part right here. We also called that in class new message. So right now there's nothing in the chat. And right now when we're pushing enter, it doesn't matter if there's nothing in the chat. It's still going to try to send a message. So like if I push enter, it's going to send a message even though it's blank. So we want to check and see if this text is blank, and if it is, we don't want to send a message. So there's a couple ways to do that, but I'll show you two. I'll show you one way that's not so great, and then we'll combine it. So okay, so right here, this is the part where if we press enter, then it's going to go to the next part. So this is what decides we can do it. We can put the message in. After it sends the message, it tries to clear and erase the old line right here, so it goes to chat edit and make sure that it's blank. Well, what we can do is we can say if our chat edit dot text, if that is not equal to blank, so we don't want it to be blank. If it is blank, then we don't want them to be able to send more messages. Okay, so this says if the person presses enter and if the chat edit is blank. So if the chat edit is blank, then we can go ahead and send a message. So let's go ahead and see if that works. So right now we have a blank. I'm pressing enter. It's not giving me any more lines. If I type, boom, it's starting to work. Okay, a second ago I was telling you that I'm going to show you a couple ways. Right now, this is creating two separate lines of code in order to keep the person from printing a blank line. So we can get rid of the second line. We can add a little and here, and then we can do both of these checks at the same time. So we already know that the person needs to press enter, and then we said also basically and the chat edit cannot be empty. So there we go. Let's try that. So I was able to get rid of a whole line right there. And I'll also center up my comments again so they look a little bit nicer. Alright, let's play it. So now if I push enter, it doesn't type. There we go. Alright, so that will have made, so that got us through that a little bit better there. Ooh, it looks like our code, whenever I did this, I also didn't create a function. So all of this is inside of this one little guy here. So we're going to create a function that will kind of clean up our code a little bit. Right now we have it all just shoved inside of this one event, this one input event. Let's go ahead and make another function. Most of you guys probably already have this. So I'm going to say function, and I will say line count. And for line count, I want to do this part here. Everything that we were kind of like rolling into this. I'm going to take all of this line count, and what I want to do is I want to cut this, and I'm going to move it inside of that. And I can get rid of some of these tabs here. Alright. And I don't need to print this out every single time. We can print that. I guess we could check it first and then see if it's still working. Alright, when do we want to do the line count? Well, we only want to do the line count if this part is successful. So this is a function that we just created, and what this function does for us is it counts the number of lines. So this counts the number of lines in our chat area. Okay? All right. Oops. Okay, so this part, I'm going to call this function whenever I need it. And there will probably be another time when we want to count the lines and we don't want to always send a new message. So so we can do, now we can do those two things separate. We could like count the line and then we could count the lines at other points in time now that we've broken these two pieces apart. But they still function the same. So let's see what that looks like. So if I run this, does it still count the lines? Yes, it's doing the same thing. Okay, so that printout part's not useful anymore, but I'm going to leave it there just in case I need it later, so I commented that one out. I'm going to get rid of these comments here. Alright, so it looks like we're doing pretty good. One thing that we did not have in class, but is on the online version, which is the one I'm teaching right now, is we have a username. Okay, so we got a username. So anytime the person types, it puts their username in here. So you want to know who you're actually talking to, who is actually talking. So anytime somebody pushes enter, it's going to print out their name in front of the text so you can see the person's name. Okay, this is great. There's just one problem. We are not always going to only be on this particular scene. There might be another scene. Like, for instance, this is the chat. Here, let me give you all an example. Let me see if I can pull this up. If you can give me 2 seconds. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the Realm chat right there, and I'll run it. And what you'll see here is I have a login spot here. So if somebody wants to talk, they're going to have to log in first, right? So we're on one page, and you could imagine if somebody typed in their name, like they say Ren, and they host, now they're on this page where they want to type. Well, this name needs to get carried over from one page to another. So I can say hello, and this one says Ren. If I disconnect, that's over there. So I need to store this name in a place that can be gathered anywhere I am. Whew. Okay, so this needs to be stored in a place where I can get it from any scene, and that's called a global variable. Godot calls it a singleton. So we need to create a global variable to store this stuff. So whenever we start making more scenes, we can still know what the person's username is. So I'm going to click inside of this folder here, scripts. I'm going to right click and I'm going to say new script, just like this. And I'm going to call this script my global, and I'll use underscore variables. Okay, so this script is going to be a script that's shared everywhere. So I'm going to double click this and I'm going to say this is my global variables. And if you want to for yourself, since you might not know what these are, you could even put these are all, like I say, this information will be shared on every scene. Okay, so cool. Okay, so right now, just because we called it that doesn't mean it just automatically does it. We need to set this up. So I'm going to go ahead and add one thing here. Let's say var current user. And we'll set the current user to, I don't know, unknown. So if nobody logs in, or if you're on a scene where you haven't logged in yet, it has a name, but the name is unknown to start with. Okay, I want to share this current user to not only this page, but I also need to share it over here. This user here, I'm going to get rid of him. I want to use the one on this page instead of the one on this one. Okay, so what we need to do is up in the top left-hand corner, click on Project, and then go to Project Settings. Up at the top, you have a Auto Load tab. I'm going to click on the Auto Load tab, and I need to locate that script that we just created. So it's in the scripts folder and it's called global variables. I'm going to click open. There's the name right there. So if I just go ahead and add this, it's going to use the whole name global variables right there whenever I want to call anything that's in here. I'm going to shorten it a little bit, so I'm just going to say globals. So instead of having to type out global variables, I'll just have to type in globals like that. I hit add, and you can see the name right here, globals, and then you can see the path to it. So it goes to the scripts folder, grabs the globals variable or global variables script, and it enables it as a singleton, and that is basically a global script. Now all the pages can get to it. Any new script I add will have access to this script. If I'm gonna go ahead and save this, I'll do Control S. So now this script is saved. So when I come over here, I can get rid of this Magnus user here, and right here it's going to give me an error. It's going to say, hey, what happened to the user? Well, I just deleted it. We're going to get rid of this. We're going to say global user now. So we'll say global dot current user, and you can see there it is, current user. Okay, so basically what's happening is we're going to have a whole bunch of scripts that need access to who the user is that's logged in, and we can't type the user on every single page. So we need to share one script that all of them can get to, and this is going to be the script that all the other scripts are attached to. You can kind of think of it as a thread connected from one script to another, and they're all going to be connected back to this one. So they're all going to have access to current user. And right now it's unknown, but once we log in, like we did with that Realm chat, I don't know if I still have it open. I don't. Here we go. I'll just open it. Right here, when we log in, and I click host or join, it's going to go to this page and it's going to store that name right there. Let's make sure that it's actually working. Oops. Let's see. What did I do? Globals. It's not finding it. Okay, so this is a good learning opportunity. Let's figure out what I did wrong. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my my singleton. So I'm going to go to projects, project settings, and I spelt it GLO. Did I spell it the same? GLOBALS. That looks right to me. I wonder if I put a space in there or something. That looks right. Globals. Let me try that. Let's see if that works. Maybe I didn't save it or something. Globals. Globals dot current user. That looks right. Let's try. Maybe it's something else I'm not reading. It says globals isn't declared in the current scope. Play. I don't know why I didn't do that. Maybe there was a space there. Unknown. Okay, so that name is right. So basically this says go to this script and everybody has access to the globals. It picks up the current user, which is over here, which is unknown. So you'll see if I change this to like global or unknown 555 and I play this again, I'm going to go back to, I'll close that one. I'll go back to this page, chat system, play. Now it should say unknown 555. Alright. Alright, this video is getting longer, so I'm going to stop right here and we'll pick it up next time. Alright, you guys have a good day.